Welcome to the Student Scholars Public Speaking Series. Have you ever listened to a speaker who stood in front of a screen full of text, perhaps read through it, and left you wondering, what's the point? Visual aids like slides, charts, and other visuals can be incredibly powerful tools for enhancing your message when used properly. Today, we're going to discuss how and when to use visual aids effectively in your speech or presentation to not only keep your audience engaged, but also help them understand, remember, and connect with your message. 1. The power of visual aids in communication. Visual aids are more than just decoration. They are meant to enhance and reinforce your message. Studies have shown that people remember up to 65% of information when it is paired with visuals, compared to only 10% when presented through text alone. This makes visual aids not just helpful, but crucial in some situations. Visual aids can clarify complex information. Sometimes words alone aren't enough to explain something. A chart or diagram can simplify complex ideas and make them more digestible. Support your message. Visuals can provide evidence to back up your points. A graph can show trends over time, a map can illustrate a location, or a chart can present data that strengthens your argument. Engage your audience. People are visual learners, and visuals tend to capture attention more effectively than words. They can also break up the monotony of listening to a speaker, giving your audience something to focus on. However, while visuals can enhance your speech, it's essential to use them properly. If overused or misused, they can become a distraction. 2. When to use visual aids. Knowing when to introduce visual aids is just as important as knowing how to use them. Here are some situations when visuals are particularly helpful. When presenting data or statistics. If you're discussing numbers or trends, charts and graphs make it easier for your audience to grasp and remember the information. For instance, a pie chart showing market share is much more effective than simply reading out percentages. When explaining complex concepts. If your speech involves technical details or complex ideas, diagrams, flowcharts, or infographics can help break down difficult content and make it more accessible. When telling a story or showing examples. Pictures, images, or short video clips can bring your story to life and make it more relatable. Whether you're showing before and after images or a video clip that demonstrates a point, visual storytelling can enhance emotional engagement. When trying to emphasize key points, use visuals to highlight your most important ideas. A key quote or a significant statistic on a slide will draw attention to the message you want your audience to remember. 3. How to use visual aids effectively. Once you've decided when to use visual aids, it's important to know how to use them in a way that enhances your message without overwhelming your audience. Here are some key tips. Keep it simple. Avoid overwhelming your audience with too much information. Your visuals should support your speech, not take it over. Keep your slides simple, with just a few words or a clear image. The goal is clarity, not clutter. For example, if you're presenting a bar chart, only include the key data points that support your argument. Don't overstuff your slide with irrelevant information. Use large, readable fonts. Make sure that everyone in the room can read your visuals easily. If your text is too small, it won't be effective. Stick to fonts that are clear and easy to read, even from the back of the room. Choose visuals that are relevant. Every visual you use should support the point you're making. Avoid including images, charts, or videos just for decoration. They should have a clear purpose and help your audience understand or engage with your message. Limit the number of slides. Don't use a new slide for every point you make. Instead, group related points together on a single slide and keep the number of slides to a minimum. Too many slides can confuse your audience or make the presentation feel rushed. Maintain consistency. Your visual aids should have a consistent style throughout your presentation. This means using the same fonts, colors, and layouts across your slides. Consistency will help your audience follow along and create a more professional-looking presentation. Avoid reading from the slide. Don't rely on your slides as a script. Visual aids are meant to complement your speech, not replace it. Talk to your audience, not the screen, and use the visuals as a tool to reinforce what you're saying. 4. Types of visual aids and how to use them. There are various types of visual aids that can help you communicate your message. Here are some examples. Slides, such as PowerPoint and Google Slides. These are the most common form of visual aid. Use slides for simple text, images, charts, or videos that will support your key points. Avoid overcrowding the slides. Each one should focus on one key idea. Charts and graphs. These are great for showing data. Use bar graphs, pie charts, line graphs, etc. to visually present numbers or trends. Make sure your audience can easily understand what the chart is showing and keep the design simple. Images and photos. Images can evoke emotion and help the audience connect with your message. Use relevant images to illustrate examples or to reinforce the point you're making. For example, if you're talking about the impact of climate change, a striking image of a melting glacier could be powerful. Videos. Short video clips, under 2 minutes, can be a great way to emphasize a point or show something that's hard to describe with words alone. Just ensure the video is relevant and that it doesn't take up too much time. Props. Sometimes, physical props can be a great addition to a speech. For example, if you're discussing healthy eating, you could hold up a fruit or vegetable to illustrate your point. 5. Avoiding common pitfalls. While visual aids can be incredibly effective, there are some common mistakes speakers make. Be aware of these pitfalls so that you can avoid them. Overloading slides with text. When your slides are packed with too much information, the audience is forced to read and they stop listening to you. Remember, your visuals should support your words, not replace them. Using distracting visuals. Avoid using bright, flashy, or complicated visuals that distract from your message. The purpose of a visual aid is to support your speech, not compete with it. Neglecting preparation. Make sure you know how to operate your equipment beforehand. Nothing distracts the audience more than fumbling with a PowerPoint presentation or struggling to get a video to play. In conclusion, visual aids are powerful tools that can enhance your speech and help communicate your message more clearly and effectively. When used correctly, they can engage your audience, simplify complex information, and reinforce your key points. Remember, visual aids should always be relevant, simple, and clear. They should serve to support your speech, not overwhelm it. By following these tips, you'll be able to use visuals to create a more memorable and impactful presentation. This concludes our video on understanding the importance of public speaking. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing all of you use visual aids effectively in your own speeches. See you next time.